day and welcome to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host today, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood. And we're going to be discussing quite a bit going on as it pertains to youth and youth programming, especially also our brand new youth center down in Old Town. And it'll be kind of an interesting conversation as we kind of talk about the past and where we are now and where we're headed into the future. And we've got quite a bit to discuss, so I think we'll probably introduce our guest today, and Hezekiah Allen. Allen has been with us for quite some time. This is about 8 years now. And so Hez, we'll have you talk a little bit about your background as well today.
Okay.
And you're our Recreation Services Supervisor for the City of Cottonwood. Also, I'd like to introduce Kirsten Hastings, and she's our Recreation Coordinator over Youth Services and Programming. And so welcome both of you to the show once again. We've talked a bit about things in the past, especially our after-school program to some extent. And so we've had the opportunity to grill Kirsten before.
Yes.
So we get that opportunity again today.
Nice.
Isn't that nice? And so, you know, it's not just us up here, it's others that get to be grilled. So we were kind of talking about that beforehand, but it is a great thing to be able to talk about our community and what we're doing.
Especially youth.
Yeah, especially youth, because that impacts our future and where we want to go as a community, as well as I think Northern Arizona in our country.
Yeah.
So I think it's great. So as we're talking about the Cottonwood Youth Center and where we're headed with that, but I wanted to talk a little bit, Hez, as to your background. And you know, I know you came here from Ohio.
Yes.
And we grabbed you kind of right off of the Coast Guard ship too, didn't we?
Basically,
and,
yeah.
Yeah, we did. Yep. And so tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay. So I grew up in Ohio, Cincinnati area. I did my undergrad at Ashland University. Majored in Parks Recreation Administration with a minor in Marketing and Commercial Art. The commercial art was kind of an accident. Oh, dang it. I don't want to do this.
Yes, I know.
Switch it up a little bit. I applied all over the country and landed an interview with the City of Cottonwood, met with Richard and at that time Ron Hollis, and really attached onto the dream and the vision and the future that this community had and has, and it's just coming to fruition day in and day out with the programming that we're doing, the services we're providing, and the rec center. It's been amazing, and I have a family now here, so it's come full circle. It's funny. My wife and I were talking the other day, and it was myself and Gracie, and she was a puppy, and we were in little Ford Ranger and driving across the country and going, I hope this works.
And here we are.
And here we are.
Yeah.
So you know, I think I'm truly blessed, and so is my family.
Yeah, it's great having people that I think as we look at community, future, and then you know, focus of what you know, we have as a balanced community and what we want to do and how we want to achieve that. And you're involved in a lot of our special event programs as well, which is really kind of neat. So you have a lot of hats. You control things as associated with youth programming, the pools, the Cottonwood outdoor pool, the indoor pool facility at the rec center, and then all the special event activities and programming. So you wear a lot of hats. It's great to have you on board.
It's amazing when your passion aligns with what you do, and that's with all of our staff.
That's right.
Everybody from top to bottom, we're passionate. I guess that's the exciting part about being in Parks Recreation.
That's it.
You're not going to get rich monetarily wise, but you are when it comes to growth, being able to interact with people and to give back. And I think that's why we do what we do.
I think that's very true, and especially in the context of what you guys do with youth. I mean, I've been in some of the you know, the youth programs and watching some of those, and especially the youth commission, watching those young people do what they do and then move on from there. And we'll talk about that here in a minute as well, a little bit more. Tell us, what opportunities do we have for youth in our communities?
You know, Kirsten and I have talked about this a couple of times, especially when we go down to APRA, which is the statewide Parks Recreation Conference that's held each year. And you know, we could put our department up hands to hands on any department in the Phoenix metropolitan area as well as Tucson. The amount of programming that we do is very analogous with those areas. We do the same programming with less people.
Right.
The only difference is we don't have as many bodies in our programs because we're not a metropolitan area. We don't have millions and millions of people to pull through, which is a double-edged sword. It's more of a challenge to do programming in rural areas. You have less resources, you have less bodies, but you're still asked to do the same program and same service to the public. So everybody we have is wearing multiple hats. Kirsten wears multiple hats.
It's true.
Some days she doesn't want to put on certain hats, and I asked her to put on that hat.
That's it. I think that's great.
But it's all that dedication. So we have youth basketball programs, we have the youth center, we have the Cottonwood Youth Advisory Commission, we have soccer programs, we have after-school programs, we have summer camps, we have special after-school programs. They're just a myriad of things that we do to service the youth population in this area, and we enjoy it too.
I think it's really, it's true, and it's admirable as to, as well as our department, but also the city of Cottonwood, and even our mayor and council. Their direction has just been incredible as it pertains to youth activities and giving. I know that Mingus Union High School uses even our outdoor pool, and right now they're in contention in state qualifying.
Yep. And 10, I think, is going to state.
I think so.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. But the city actually gives so much towards the high school in the use of the Cottonwood outdoor pool, so it's really kind of a neat thing to see.
It's a great relationship.
It really is. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take a quick break from our first segment. Moving into the second segment, we'll get a little bit more into our youth programming and Kirsten Hastings and why she's involved in what she's doing as well. So come back and join us here in just a minute. I'm your host, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood. Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood. I'm Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood, and with me today are Kirsten Hastings and Hez Allen, and both work in the City of Cottonwood Parks and Recreation Center Department. So it's good to have you both here today. We're talking about youth and youth services, youth programming opportunities, things of that nature, our new youth center. And Hez, I think what we were talking about in the first segment, we were kind of going down that one path that basically describes, the opportunities within our community. What is important to keep, or excuse me, why is it important to keep our youth in the forefront of servicing community, especially in the cities within Arizona today?
I think, put very simply, youth are our future. And that's why the Youth Center's logo says Building the Future, is because we're doing it one individual at a time, and we're not excluding anybody. They are our pure public good, because investing in them is just going to proliferate other opportunities. I mean, you talk about the world on a grand scale and the economy and the engine and everything. Right. You don't invest in your future, your economy is going to die. And I think that's seen more so locally, because we always, there's a stat out there like 70–80% of people return back to the place they grew up. Well, if you're not investing into that group locally, and when they return, what kind of work environment do you think you're going to get out of them? It's so exciting, because when I first got here, the department was in the process of coming up with the Youth Commission. And since then, it's been like 8–9 years, something like that. And we're trying to work on getting these people back for an alumni lunch, but they're all off doing amazing, wonderful things. And we have people working for senators and college professors and engineers and attorneys and even your trade people, and they're all dedicated to their craft. And I'd like to think that has to do with the Youth Commission.
Sure it does.
Maybe we're biased.
Yeah.
I got an email from Robert Valentine this morning, and he's at ASU, and he's studying economics and statistics, and then his goal is to go to law school and then work with athletes on a national level and work those contracts, McGuire type stuff.
Exactly.
And, it's exciting to see him on his path, and I think you had something to do with it. So I guess that's kind of the answer to that question.
Well, and I think that's the thing is when we get involved with youth and we watch them grow into adults. And, I even remember, the cooks, and he was one of the first ones out of the chute for our youth commission. And, he's a professor over in Ireland.
Yeah.
And he took a professorship, and that's exactly what he's doing. It's just incredible. So when we sit there and we see that, it's just amazing what these young people are doing in our community as well as around the world. So it's like you were indicating. So as we get into that a little bit more here, Kirsten, tell us a bit about yourself. And what brought you to the present day position, and why did you choose this career? Or did it choose you?
It kind of chose me. Well, I grew up in Phoenix and ended up in Oklahoma for a while, where I got my degree in graphic design. And I moved back to Arizona because that's what you do. Right. I have 2 kids, and I wanted them to be close to their grandparents. And I met Hez, actually on a field trip, with my kids. And I started doing some graphic design work for him and for the city. And then later, he was telling me about a position that opened up for the after-school program. And I had helped run a preschool when I was in Oklahoma when my children were young. So I had that background and that experience working with small children. And so it was an ideal situation, and I couldn't be happier, really.
It just kind of integrated itself together.
Yeah, it really did.
And that's kind of what we do. We look at talents of individuals when we hire them as well. And we're kind of looking at the future also. We're going, okay, this person would work really well in the context of what the job outlines and the skills that we're looking for. So Cottonwood is really blessed by that. I think that's one of the things that is really interesting with so many of our people, whether they're in the police agency, in our police department, or whether the fire department or public works, public safety, parks and recreation, library, you name it, water. People are talented, and this city is a really blessed city, and what our staff does. So I think it's really kind of a really cool thing. So when we talk about you, Kirsten, what does your position as youth coordinator entail? Tell us about that.
Well, I do all the planning and programming for our after-school program, summer camp. I oversee the youth commission as well, which are teenagers or high school age kids. So I kind of have the whole gamut of ages. With the after-school program, we're looking at the younger kids, 7 years all the way up into 12, and then with the youth commission, the older teenagers in the community. So it's a nice diverse group, and it's a lot of fun to try to plan programs and activities around their interests and to get them engaged and get things going for them. So
right.
I enjoy it.
Well, now, and I know a lot of what we do revolves around goals and focusing on goals. And so what are your goals as it pertains as the youth coordinator, and where are those important to you?
Well, my goal is just to provide an enriching environment that's fun, that involves fitness and creativity, just to bring out all of those talents in the kids, however I can reach them. And a lot of the kids that are going to the youth center, they are happy to be there. They want to be there. It's not just, mom and dad are working, I have to go somewhere. They want to be there. They want to be playing ping pong and the foosball, and they want to be drawing this and playing this game. And so to me, it's really rewarding because I feel like I've set this up. I had a hand in this in this environment for them that they enjoy.
Yeah,
So.
you're right in the midst of it, and it's
Right.
exciting. You know, as we look at the goals and championing those goals, you said something very interesting, and that was reaching the kids. And I think that's very important in our society today, is reaching those kids and developing them into the leaders for tomorrow, as what Hez was indicating. We never know when we have one of those special leaders even in our community,
Right.
Especially even nationwide. I mean, this is what Parks and Recreation agencies do, is we realistically, we try to resolve this to actually do these things in order to help our youth and our community. So I know that myself, one of my mentors was my grandfather, and it was he was in the Lions Club back in Iowa, and the one thing they did, they built a pool. They built the pool from funds that they had. They set up a youth center, and they put a ping pong table into it, and they had various other games and chess and everything else in there, and for the kids during the summertime to do something instead of not having anything to do.
Right.
And so it kind of inspired me as a kid, and guess where I am today?
Yeah.
So, you know, so it's kind of amazing.
Lineage.
It is. It really is. But we're the same way as a, you know, even in our jobs, we are, you know, kind of this nuclear family. We enjoy doing what we're doing, and so we have fun together as well as we watch these kids grow in our community and share that as an experience. And it's great to see it. Parents are just, you know, I know are enamored with their children, but also see them grow in this context too. And we did have a part of it, so I think it's really neat.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a break, and thanks for joining us here for Inside Cottonwood. Back to the segment here as we get more into this building and what we're doing. And thank you for joining us. I'm Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood.
Everywhere that we go, he makes people laugh and makes people smile, and I feel like I have that quality.
He's the one who always takes me fishing.
I watch golf with him. And
I watch him cook, because when I grow up, I want to be a cook too.
We have the same faces like this.
Dad is the one, when you fall, that picks you up.
That unconditional sense of presence and reassurance is really what makes him my father.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first, don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language, or talk with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
And don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood. It's amazing the things that go on between the commercial and actually being here on the air. So we have a lot of fun. But so that's why I'm kind of smiling, and we were laughing here quite a bit. But Kirsten Hastings, we're discussing the youth center. Talk a little bit about the youth center. We've changed locations, and has it been for the betterment, for the good that you can see right now?
Absolutely.
Yes, absolutely. Tell us about that.
Well, it's about 2,000 square foot of fun.
Yeah.
We've got a huge game room area where they can play all those old school games like air hockey and ping pong and those type of things, which for me is rewarding because kids are always wanting to play video games. It's nice to see them play those games that I grew up playing. We've got lots of, you know, your traditional board games and things like that too, and just Legos. I mean, Legos they're amazing, you know, those kind of things, and that keeps kids engaged for hours, really. And then we also have an art room that's ginormous, and you know, we were really blessed with all the supplies that were already there. In fact, we set up the kids actually set it up, a little area where they display their artwork, and they've called it the museum. And so it's fantastic just to see these kids really embrace the facility.
So where is the facility located?
It's 215 East Pima in Old Town, behind the Kids Activity Park is what it's called.
Old Town Activity Park. Yeah, that's it. And then, it's at the old Boys and Girls Club.
Yes.
And so where people know exactly where that's at because it was here for so long. And prior to that, it was the Veterans and Foreign War building. So it was the old VFW building that was then sold to the city of Cottonwood. And so I know that they leased it out to the Boys and Girls Club. And so after that closure from about 2 years ago, we've taken this on now, which has been kind of great because over the last month, man, it's really been exciting.
Yeah.
And we watched a building that was kind of dilapidated and run down, and you guys took the bull by the horns, and you and our maintenance crew and everybody, it was like a really valiant effort to move quickly, even with our finance department, and it was moved through fast, and it was great to see a building that was like that, and now looking like it is today.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, you need to go down and take a look at the new Cottonwood Youth Center, and the services that are provided there, the people, they're going to meet you and greet you with a smile. But I mean, they're having a good time with the kids down there. It's quite a place. So if you haven't seen it, come down to the old town area and take a look at the new youth center back behind City Hall. Kirsten, as we take a look at this and the programming itself, what are the costs for the program?
It runs $140 for a month, which is for 25 visits that can be used consecutively or intermittently throughout the school year. Or it is $40 for the week or $10 for a drop-in.
Okay, so that's really pretty cheap, actually.
It is.
Yeah, and so we're planning on expanding certain areas. Can you talk about that? In other words, what we would like to do. What are some of the things that we would like to do?
I would love to have some transportation. That would be fantastic.
And we're working on that, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
we are. That's our goal. It's something that we're trying to implement. I'm also in the process of talking with some of the different schools about working out having a bus stop or two near the location. Currently, we cater to the Cottonwood Oak Creek School District, so we handle like MVP, DDB, Cottonwood Elementary School, Cottonwood Middle School. So it'd be great to have some of those outlying areas. I know I've got parents at American Heritage that are interested in having their kids, and also Clark Del Jerome School. I've got parents there that would like to bring their kids. It's a difficult dynamic with working that out. But that's our goal.
But that is a goal, yeah.
And we're also really wanting to get some landscaping done on the front of the building.
Okay.
It looks awesome inside, but the outside could use a little bit of work. But we're blessed with the field right there, the park. The kids spend a lot of time out there playing games. And
so if individuals are interested in gifting or donating or anything of that nature, any type of van for transportation, correct?
Van.
Or some trees.
Yeah. And
some
trees or landscaping or anything else, that's something definitely we would accept eagerly. So it is a growth and progress, and we'll see that center, I think, become something really dynamic here in the future, even though it's great right now. Now, you also have staff. How many staff do you have?
I have 7 staff members.
7 staff members.
They are wonderful.
And fantastic people, because they're
really
taking care of kids. So sometimes you have to be one to be one. I mean, it's to take care of them. But they do a great job, and my hat's off to them, because again, it's pretty intense, just being with them and running around. Of course, and it's nice having that big field out there now.
Right.
And
we had our staff meeting the other day, and we try to do that once every 2 weeks with the staff down there. And I'll make this real quick, but we asked them, can you give us an example of a time where you've connected with one of the kids? And more times than not, they stated that I haven't connected with just one, I've connected with all of them.
Wow.
A lot of them are mothers themselves.
Right.
They adore these children just as much so as a family member would.
Right.
They look forward to them every day, and how and the different activities they have them do. We pride ourselves at the youth center by not just taking up time in a child's life. It's a developmental process.
That's great. Love it. All right. So what are the times?
We are open from 2:30 to 6 on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday.
Okay.
Wednesdays are early release with the school district, so we're open from 1:30 on to 6.
So are you open then on when school's not in session?
We are.
Okay.
We try to align our schedule with the school district's calendar So we're open, like upcoming here is Veterans Day, and we'll be open that full day.
Oh, you
to
will?
accommodate
Okay.
those kids,
That's great.
And fall break.
That's a big help.
Oh, absolutely.
You know? So it helps out an awful lot. Now, are there any openings?
We've got lots of room now, so lots of kids to come.
There you go. So we can get more. You know, and that's something that, again, the dynamics and the kids and everything. So it's really an energy-packed session. So you know, during that time frame, so there's a lot to do. So if my child has a food allergy, because I know we do feed the kids, what do we do?
We have a child actually that has a peanut allergy and a wheat allergy. So I've talked with the parents, and we've aligned our snacks to accommodate, so that he's not being singled out, but so that the snack is good for everyone. There's no issues and there's no concerns.
So we actually, you know, we provide like a form, and people write that down and say, you know, hey, my kid has you have an allergy or whatever, and then we look at that.
With the peanut allergy, that's significant.
It is.
That's a little scary.
So when so you're talking about kids and you know, pertaining to the districts and everything else. This time we don't have transportation. We're working that direction. So parents can actually just bring their children down at just right after school, drop them off, and then they normally pick them up right at around 6 o'clock. Is that right?
And then we do have transportation, like they walk up to the middle school, the elementary school, Cottonwood Elementary and Cottonwood Middle School. And then what buses do we have that kind of drop off in the area?
MVP, Mountain View Prep, they drop off at the bus stop right there in Old Town. So I have staff that picks them up. And then we also have DDB, which is Daniel Bright, and they drop off right in front of the youth center.
Oh, that's great.
So that's perfect,
And we're working on, currently, Clarkdale Jerome, on having a stop somewhere in Old Town so we can kind of jointly work together.
That's great.
And Oak Creek School District has been wonderful to work with, along with Clarkdale Jerome, and kind of, working with them both there simultaneously.
That's all right. That's something else. Now, as we get into the last little bits here before we sign off for the day, tell us, what are some of the exciting things that are going on at the Youth Center? Because I know we do everything for, different calendar events or things that are going on holiday-wise. Tell us about that.
Yeah.
Well, Halloween was a lot of fun because there's so many different crafts you can do and just different things. And we made caramel apples and we made popcorn balls and spider crafts, and the kids really got into it and had a great time, and it was a lot of fun. In fact, one of the snack crafts I didn't get to before Halloween, so we did that yesterday, which these Dracula teeth, but they're apples, and they were really cute. But we're also planning on making little pumpkin pies. For Thanksgiving.
Nice.
So a lot, along with some other type of crafts and things, but we're pretty excited about that. I think it'll be fun because we have a kitchen there, so we have the ability to do this kind of stuff with the kids. And I think, anything that you can add to their experiences.
That's true. Age groups, real quick.
6 to 12-year-olds.
6 to 12-year-olds.
Yes.
All right. So we have an exciting program. It's building, as we're getting things moving forward, and we have such a talented team. So again, if you want to, you can give us a call at any time, even at the recreation center or down at your facility. What is your phone number down there?
Well, you have to dial the rec center to
You do,
to reach.
okay.
So you dial 639-3200 is the rec center, and then my extension is 3223.
3223. All right. So more information right there on your screen is 639-3200. Give us a call, and you can talk to one of our staff. They can punch it right through. Again, thank you for joining us as we sign off for the day for Inside Cottonwood. We appreciate you being here. Thank you again. I'm your host today, Richard Faust, Community Services General Manager for the City of Cottonwood. Thank you, both of you, also for joining us.
Thank you.